Roger Simon.
And Lionel Chetwood.
With the latest from the Hollywood extreme left and the extreme right. So here we are. And Lionel, what the first story we're going to deal with is from the extreme left, because Oliver Stone's son, Sean Stone, who I knew as a 3-year-old towhead, has not fallen far from the tree. He's come back from Tehran with a documentary. Pro-Ahmadinejad, of course.
Yes, this young man goes to Iran, under whose auspices we do not know, and strikes a co-production deal and becomes the hottest thing in Iranian-American co-productions, which may be a new front. The way this government's going, you don't know. Now, normally such information would have died where it belonged. Yeah. However, with the new Hollywood, well, exactly, who cares? It's not even, it's like the old joke. The guy says, let me produce your movie, I can get you Newman. Paul Newman, no Saul Newman, but he looks just like him. So, Oliver Stone, no Sean Stone, but believe me. So the point is that it would normally have disappeared. But what happened here a few years ago when the trades, Variety and Hollywood Reporter, started retrenching and a lot of the national dailies closed their bureaus, you had a lot of journalists who were out of work. One was Nikki Fink, and she has a site called Deadline Hollywood. She got the inside information on the Writers Guild, became the leader, and then she's got somebody who gives her the information on the weekly box office first. Drudge connects it to her, and she's a powerhouse. She's an important player.
It's me, Lionel. No.
A little after her, or sometime after her, Sharon Waxman, who was the local reporter for the Washington Post, the bureau here, the Hollywood Bureau. They closed that, mercifully, by the way, and she began her own blog called The Wrap. She is the one who goes to Toronto, and this is her Saul Newman. She finds this kid saying, Ahmadinejad's a terrific guy. He's just misunderstood. We're going to make documentaries. They should have an atomic weapon. It's good for peace because Israel's a big threat to them. And unbelievable drivel. Drivel that even his father, in his most drug-induced state, would be unlikely to promulgate. But there he is, and it becomes big news.
Look for it to win the Oscar. Well, all right, I shouldn't have said that. Anyway.
No, I mean, the point is, in a country where nobody really wants to read the front page and hear what's going on with unemployment and things like that, entertainment media has gained certain momentum and certain power. Because it's so disorganized, it is just waiting for predators to come in and float things and just see how they're going, like Kennedy and the trial balloon. And there's been another one this week, which I think is a trial balloon.
Well, you think that Mel Gibson is not going to make the movie about the Maccabees? Well, let's explain this. Let's explain this. Warner Brothers, which has historically had a fantastic relationship with Mel Gibson and made many hit movies, has had to pull back from Mel as everybody else, because Mel, as we know, sort of jumped 5,000 sharks at once and has accused the entire Jewish race of killing everybody from Christ to Harry Truman. However, he's now floating this trial balloon or actually making a movie about the great Hanukkah story of the Maccabees, which is actually in the sweet spot of Mel Gibson, who made, Braveheart, which is a great action movie. I mean, he can do that.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, it is impossible to separate the subject matter, which is the Jewish revolt, and Mel Gibson. I mean, Mel Gibson, I'm going to go speak to a rabbi, and he always claimed he was going to take steps to deal with this clear animosity he holds towards Jews. We are being told that this is probably part of that therapy, and I don't believe that. I don't believe it. I think that the story has been floated for two reasons. Number one, because they want to see how it goes down, and number two, because they can. That's the thing. When there are only two trades, it might have been more difficult. And the screenwriter is Joe Esterhazy, not known for delicate historical nuance. I mean, with all respect,
neither is Hollywood. However,
well, no, that's true. These are blunt instruments dealing with a subject that, at a moment when the very existence of the Jewish state
is in jeopardy.
When there is a rise in anti-Semitism in certain communities in this country.
And across the globe.
And across the globe, but particularly across the globe. Yeah. To empower, as I say, a cudgel like Mel Gibson. I like his films, but come on, this is not. No,
it's not John Schlesinger. You're saying that's never going to happen, is what you're saying. I don't think it will. Know.
I don't think it will. I mean, it depends, I asked one of my agents at CAA, how'd that happen? He actually raised it with me. And I said, well, how did it happen? He said, it's the deal. This guy's got all the money in the world. He can sponsor it. He can pay for the film himself.
Of course
he said, it's deal friendly. And I said, and so no one asked themselves, is this a subject matter in the world at this time that should be handed over to two guys with the record of profound insight of Mel Gibson and Joe Esterhazy. And he said, well, it's not about that anymore. He said, you're setting standards that no longer exist. And by the way, I mean, you know, when you see Abu Dhabi film, we saw another recent film is all, one of the things that the Arabs are doing is they're sending the oil money back here. They are buying our popular culture. And just as you well know, the Soviet Union basically wanted to try and control our popular culture. It was too hard to build one of their own. And now it's right there, so they took it. Now, I don't know what you think. You think it's going to get made?
Yes, but that's just a guess. I mean, but I think it will. I think, as you say, Mel Gibson has plenty of money to self-finance it. If he gets a script from Esterhazy that he likes, he can certainly cast it, and he can make it. So
they're calling it the Jewish 300. They're calling it the Jewish 300.
Yeah, well,
right?
And it may turn out to be the most Jewish movie of the last 5 years.
And then where do they sell it?
The marketplace is unfortunately blind.
He will have to make concessions towards Muslim sensibilities, though he ain't going to be released in Indonesia and all those countries.
Well, we'll see. Anyway, this is a really interesting question. Well, something we should follow here on Polliwood.
Yeah,
and
right
we
to
will.
Warner Brothers.
We'll be back next time. This is Roger Simon
Lionel Chetwynd
in Polliwood.
Thank you.